Hello everyone! Welcome to Cell Colors. My name is Cell and I post videos about adult coloring and art. I'm so happy that you're here. Today I will share my completed pages in May. Let's start with A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. This year is my first mermaid and I was so excited that I colored this on April 30. I used color pencils, and what's special about this is I tried the jelly effect for the first time. I really enjoyed it, and I love the idea that this sea lion unicorn thing is a water blob and it's her best friend. So I tried to draw the attention on the blob instead of the mermaid. The mermaid is still fun. I remember having my first Barbie mermaid and she had hair that could turn purple like this when wet. My next mermaid page is this double spread. I colored this in the first 3 days of May. I used Holbein gouache and it's the first time I used that here, so I was happy with how vibrant it turned out. I struggled with the background. At some point, the paper was already peeling on this part right here because of the amount of water that I had used. So I had to be careful with the next time that I layered water. And I covered it with gradient so I was able to cover the mess. I'm happy with how this turned out. I also used Uniball Signo white pen for the highlights and the rope connecting the horses and the seashell. Lastly, I did this mermaid. I used a fluorescent set of markers and I started with the rainbow. I really like it. I then tried to use it on the water, but I discovered that it didn't have enough color range to make a smooth blend. So I had to supplement it with a regular set of markers. As you can see, I was going for a pastel color scheme. The markers were going well until I got to the unicorn. There wasn't enough range of colors between the pastel markers and the regular set of markers to create a blend that would match the unicorn's body. So I had to go in with Himi gouache going forward because I was envisioning this unicorn to be more bluish purplish with pink highlights. I used Himi gouache so it's not as vibrant as you can see compared to the spread that I had featured before. And then at this point, I just put down whatever color that came to my mind, especially when it came to the background. It's a pastel sky, but with glowy stars and gold clouds. So that's something new that I tried on this page. And then I had an inspiration to make the unicorn and the mermaid like magical creatures and heroes coming to save the magical realm. And so I put this halo around them like they had just transformed. And then I remembered that I had this metallic set of watercolors and I added that to increase the magical effect. And the watercolors are very subtle, but when I was applying it, I really liked it because I could really see the glitter. And so I put it on the halo, the waves, the dolphins, and some to highlight the mermaid's changing colors on the mermaid's tail. And I also used colored pencils to deepen the colors all around. And of course, the Uniball Sigma pen to mask the lines on the waves. My next mermaid is from Tales from Atlantis. This is a buddy color with Inky Ivy on Instagram. She chose the page and proposed Elm Colors challenge of coloring using the Four Seasons color palette. She made me choose the seasons and I chose fall and winter. She chose fall, so I had winter. Here's her completed page. Hers looked great, and she really nailed the autumn color palette. I wasn't going to do a background, but then she did it, and I was like, now my page looks incomplete. So I kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and then also at the time when I was coloring my page, I wasn't in the best headspace, so I couldn't really think properly about my page. But I really love how she put so much effort into hers and she made it look as perfect as she can. And look how neat her colors are and her coloring. He's so clean. She said that she had experimented with the skin color here, but it really worked great, in my opinion, with the overall autumn vibes. So I had sent her my finished page, and I was like, I don't know what else I can do for this page. And she ended up posting that one. And then I kept thinking about it, like I said, and then decided to change it because it didn't really feel like winter to me. And so I quietly redid it after our body color. I used Holbein gouache, Himi gouache, white acrylic paint, white poster paint maybe, and some metallic watercolors again. I think the metallic watercolors really helped in communicating that it's winter because of all the shine and glitter and ice. So I also changed the fish to a goldfish to maybe symbolize that she's holding up summer or something like that. So I I like this page a lot better, and I'm very sorry, Jenna. This is my final page, and this is what I'm posting on Instagram. Thank you so much for buddying with me. I hope that we can color again together soon. Next, I finished a page in Minimania 2, and this is what I brought with me to the doctor's appointments this month. I had too many doctor's visits this month, which more than I like. I don't like going to the hospital. It triggers so many traumatic memories and feelings for me. But when I was there and coloring this time, all those negative feelings faded away, and I was even looking forward to the next visit. So I had a couple of hours of peaceful coloring. The page is divided into small squares, which makes it less daunting. I used polychromos and some color. This page is very freeing because I just colored by instinct without any plans. Whatever came to my mind, I just did it. And sometimes it turned out great, sometimes not. Like this bee kitty and this butterfly. I wish I had made them colorful, but since they're small panels, it doesn't really matter. I even colored while I was driving. I had my polychromos tray on my lap, and then I was coloring against the steering wheel like this. I did that when traffic was heavy. And of course, I don't recommend that you do what I did. Please don't. But for me, it was fun. And of course, I won't do it again. So now when I look at this page, I can remember those doctor's appointments. I recommend coloring if you have to wait for something unpleasant because it relaxes you and takes away your anxiety so you're in a better disposition when it's time to face whatever it is. And plus, time flies really fast. Next, I colored something for Mother's Day. It's for my mother in law. I copied a page from this book, Flowers Fit for a Gift, to a 300 GSM watercolor paper and used Holbein watercolors to paint it. I'm not very good at coloring or painting botanicals. Coloring flowers and leaves don't excite me, but maybe it's because I'm not good at it. So I used this time to practice, and I really enjoyed this one. I always enjoy coloring flowers in these books for some reason. Maybe it's the paper, maybe it's the watercolor, who knows. But if you have any recommendation for a different flower book with good paper that I can try, I'd love to hear it. Something that's not Johanna Basford because her art is too intricate for me. Just drop it in the comments if you have any. Anyway, if you want to watch how I colored this, the full video is on my channel. I am very happy with how this turned out and even proud. And I'm a little sad that I have to part with it since I have to give it to my mother-in-law, but I can always, do it again. And here I'm just showing you side by side the colored sample versus the final painting that I did. I didn't follow the colored sample because I found the colors here to be too dark, and I wanted it to be more light and fresh. So this is the colors that I chose for my flowers. Next, I colored the first page, my first page in an Eriy book. This is Romantic Country, the second tale. I got this secondhand from a lady here in another city. It's uncolored but yellowing a bit. This page caught my eye the first time I flipped through this book. I already had ideas, so I thought it would be easy to complete this. But it wasn't. I used Holbein gouache, and you can see how patchy the paint came out. I have to say that this paper is not that great with gouache, but I have to try it with watercolor to see if that works. This is the English version. I don't know if the Japanese version paper is better. But moving forward, I will use watercolor and pencil on this book. I was inspired by the stained glass on churches when I was coloring this, and the area on this part is plain and empty, and I broke it down into smaller glass pieces in the shape of rays. I regret doing the whole background in blue. Maybe I should have had more imagination and added a gradient of orange to um, signify some sunlight, but anyway, it's a finished page, and I'm still satisfied with how this turned out. I was just surprised at how difficult this page turned out to be. My next completed page is another Mother's Day tribute. I chose this queen and princess portrait because I was excited to color a portrait in this book. I altered the faces, but moving forward, I think I can work with how it's originally drawn. The skin looks uneven because I covered some areas with white acrylic paint. That paint dries is wrinkled when it dries, and it also peels off. So I'm very very close to throwing that away, that whole tube of paint. Anyway, when I posted it on Instagram, I hadn't colored the background. I but I kept thinking about it and felt like something is incomplete. And so I added the background after thinking about it carefully, and I'm glad that I did. The effect that I was going for is a framed portrait hanging on a gallery wall, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks like two people coming out of a frame, which, isn't really bad. I used my gouaches for this. The background, I used Himi gouache just to um, save on my Holbein. And then some gold poster paint to accentuate the gold leaves here at the bottom. I also used colored pencils to smooth out the faces as best as I could. I'm happy with this painting. As with everyone, I'm excited to color more in this book. The last completed page that I will show for this video is also my last mermaid for May. This is Hide and Seek by RJ Hampson. I was testing fluorescent colored pencils here. This is straight up colored pencil coloring using color and a fluorescent colored pencil set, and a little bit of gouache for the bling. I gave her Ariel's hair because she's my last mermaid. um, I think I colored this very lightly because I was scared to make it more saturated because then that would mean more effort. But I know that if I tried it next time, it would look more vibrant and the effort would be worth it. So, yeah, there you go. Those are my completed pages. I did 8 in total. But before you go, if you're still here, I just want to talk about something really quickly. I don't always post completed pages on Instagram. I really don't need that validation. So that's why I don't always post on Instagram. But when it comes to YouTube, I was thinking these days, like, why did I even create a YouTube channel? And definitely, it's not because I want to show off my coloring or whatever. This is not the place that I'm seeking validation either. I think I created it because I really wanted to connect to the coloring community and share my experience in coloring and tell you about the mistakes that I made, the ideas that I had. So, and that's something that I can't share on Instagram. But when I look at the YouTube stats, I can't help but feel discouraged. Like, should I even go on? Should I even put out more videos? But if you watch this and you liked it, it will help if you click the like button. If you hit the subscribe button, it will help me to maybe go on and keep putting out videos. And maybe YouTube can show it to other people who will help me grow in this community. And it's already very cool that I get to talk to my favorite YouTuber colorists and I mean in coloring groups. Like the other day, I was talking to Happy Catastrophe, Candice, about how lonely it could be to be a colorist. Like you're coloring in your home and you have all these colorists in out there, but you're there as a follower and you're not really interacting with them. So, anyway, I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, thanks again for joining me today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What is your favorite and what did you color? Have a great day and see you in the next video. Bye!